While they were busy whispering doubts and casting shadows on your potential, you were busy building an empire of talent and resilience. Every sneer, every dismissive glance only fueled your quiet determination to rise higher. Now, as you step into the spotlight, their disbelief is almost comical. Wide eyes, dropped jaws, and stunned silence as they finally see the unstoppable force you've become. They thought they had you figured out, but you've shattered every expectation. Their underestimation was never your burden, it was your motivation. And now, standing tall in your brilliance, you're not just proving them wrong, you're proving yourself right. This is your time to rise without hesitation, to own every bit of the spotlight that was always meant for you. They doubted, they dismissed, and now they're left grappling with the reality of your brilliance. Something changed. No, you changed. The moment you stopped waiting for permission to be extraordinary, the world couldn't help but notice. Your talent, your unwavering confidence, the way you command attention, it's undeniable. You weren't part of their narrative, you weren't supposed to outshine them, but now you're the one they can't ignore. And while they scramble to understand how you've rewritten the script, you're already onto your next chapter, unbothered and unstoppable. When you enter, the atmosphere shifts, conversations pause, eyes follow, and even the skeptics can't ignore your presence. Every word you say carries weight, every move you make demands attention, and now your name lingers in places you never imagined. The same voices that once dismissed you now stumble over themselves, trying to justify their oversight. "How did we not see this coming?" they whisper, caught off guard by your undeniable brilliance. But the truth is, you've always had it in you. They just weren't ready to see it. Now, they're left playing catch-up while you continue to soar. Their silence speaks volumes, doesn't it? The same faces that once turned away now can't seem to look anywhere else. They dissect your every move, trying to piece together the puzzle of how you became unstoppable. Some call it luck, others pretend they always knew you'd make it, but you remember, oh, you remember. You remember the laughter, the dismissive glances, the way they made you feel invisible. But now, you are unforgettable. They think it was magic, a sudden transformation, but you know better. Every ounce of skill, every bit of power, every drop of confidence was earned in the shadows, far from the noise of their opinions. While they wasted time, you were building yourself brick by brick. They didn't see the sleepless nights, the failures that tested your resolve, the moments you almost gave up. They weren't there when it was just you, fighting against the weight of doubt, choosing growth over comfort again and again. This wasn't for applause, wasn't for recognition, this was for you. Because deep down, you always knew you were meant for more. And now, so do they. Your results silence their doubts louder than any words ever could. They murmur in disbelief, scrambling to connect the dots, asking themselves, how did this happen? When did they get so far ahead? They cling to excuses, luck, privilege, some hidden advantage, because the truth is too uncomfortable to face. The truth forces them to confront what they ignored for so long. You weren't sitting idly by, hoping for success to find you. You were creating it, brick by brick, step by step. While they stayed in their comfort zones, you were outgrowing yours. While they waited for opportunities, you forged your own. The distance between you and them wasn't luck. It was effort, persistence, and the courage to keep going when no one was watching. And now, they're left trying to catch up to the version of you they never believed could exist. You remember the shift? It wasn't rehearsed, it wasn't staged. You weren't seeking validation, you weren't looking for permission. But when you acted, whether it was a move, a decision, or a display of skill so precise it cut through all doubt, it was undeniable. They weren't ready. Their widened eyes, their stunned silence, the way their conversations faltered, all of it revealed the truth they couldn't hide. Wait, what? Since when could they do that? It wasn't just what you did, but how you did it, with ease, with confidence, with a certainty that left no room for questions. And that's what shook them to their core. In that moment, they realized you were never behind, never average, never the person they tried to define. You were quiet, observing, preparing. While they mocked, doubted, and wasted time, you were building something unstoppable. They tried to confine you, to label you, to put you in a box, but that box is nothing but ashes now. You don't follow limits, you break them. That moment of realization wasn't an accident, it was destiny. Greatness can only stay hidden for so long before it demands to be seen. And now, they can't look away. And now, they can't unsee it. The moment they truly saw you, everything they thought they knew crumbled. Their expectations reduced to dust, their opinions rendered meaningless. They scramble to categorize you, to find a label that makes you easier to understand, easier to contain. The artist, the leader, the strategist, the visionary. They try to box you in, but every time they think they've defined you, you shatter their assumptions all over again. You're a paradox they can't solve, a balance of creativity and precision, intuition and logic, adaptability and mastery. They can't fathom how you excel everywhere you step, how you thrive in spaces they never dared to enter. But that's the difference. While they spent their lives narrowing their focus, perfecting one thing, you were expanding, growing, mastering everything. You didn't settle for limits, you erased them. And now, they're left trying to make sense of something that was never meant to be confined. You've mastered the art of seeing the whole board while they focus on a single piece. Business? You know the moves before they're made. Creativity? You don't just speak the language, you redefine it. Psychology? You see through the masks they wear and the games they play. Strategy? You don't just follow the rules, you rewrite them. They keep trying to force you into one lane, one role, one identity, but that's not who you are. You are the architect and the innovator, the dreamer and the doer, the teacher and the eternal learner. They can't replicate what they don't understand. While they anchored themselves to one strength, one skill, one definition, you built yourself on evolution. You are not confined to a single path. You create your own, and that's what sets you apart. They ask, "What are you?" Because they can't comprehend it. You are whoever you choose to be, and that's what unsettles them the most. You are boundless, uncontainable, a force that refuses to be defined. They call it unfair, watching you master in weeks what took them years, but it's not luck, and it's not chance. The truth is, you see what they cannot. While they skim the surface, you dive deep. They memorize steps, follow instructions, and stop when they think they've arrived. But you dismantle the process, break it into its purest essence, and rebuild it into something greater. It's not just intelligence, it's intuition, instinct, a relentless drive to understand the why behind the what. You don't just learn, you internalize, embody, transform. You don't just study the rules, you uncover the principles that govern them, and that's why they'll never keep up. While they're busy trying to mimic, you're already 10 steps ahead, creating something entirely new. They cling to comfort, to the safety of what they know, while you thrive in the unknown. They move cautiously, afraid to fail, while you move swiftly, knowing failure is just another step toward mastery. They call you a natural, as if it's something you were simply born with, but they don't see the truth. Mastery isn't about doing everything, it's about seeing the connections, uncovering the patterns that others overlook. Once you understand the framework, the rules of the game, you can excel in any arena. While they focus on one skill, one path, you've been weaving it all together, creating a foundation so unshakable that nothing can stop you. They watch, confused, intimidated, desperate to understand how you do it. But they'll never see it, because while they were stuck in their ways, you were evolving, adapting, mastering the art of reinvention. You weren't just learning, you were preparing to dominate. And as you rise, their unease grows. They used to cheer for you, back when you were on their level, when your dreams were just whispers and your victories were small enough to ignore. But now, you've outgrown the version of you they were comfortable with, and it shows. The air shifts when you enter the room, their smiles tighten, their words carry an edge, their laughter feels hollow. They don't say it outright, but you can sense it in the pauses, in the way their congratulations feel more like veiled jabs. Must be nice, they say, as if your success was handed to you. as if they didn't see the grind, the late nights, the sacrifices. You've become a reflection they can't avoid, a reminder of what they could be if they had chosen differently. And that's what unsettles them. It's not your success that bothers them, it's what it reveals about their own inaction. You didn't just change, you became a challenge to their comfort, a living example of what's possible, and that's a truth they're not ready to face. When they see you rise, they don't just see your success, they see their own missed potential. Every milestone you hit is a reminder of the chances they didn't take, the time they let slip away, the dreams they abandoned for comfort. They mask it with jokes, with dismissive comments, with forced indifference, but you can feel the weight of their unspoken regret. It's not luck, and they know it. What unsettles them isn't just your growth, it's the fact that you've outpaced them, outgrown the box they tried to keep you in. They were never cheering for you, they were cheering for the version of you that made them feel safe, the version that didn't force them to question their own choices. But now, you're undeniable. You walk into a room and shift the energy, not because you try to, but because you've earned it. Your success is a mirror they can't avoid, and instead of rising to meet their own potential, they choose to resent you for showing them what's possible. But their resentment is not your burden to carry, it's a reflection of their own limits, not yours. You refuse to apologize for the space you take up, for the brilliance you've worked so hard to cultivate. You don't shrink, you don't soften, and you don't hold back just to make others feel better about standing still. If your growth unsettles them, that's a battle they'll have to fight within themselves. You didn't stumble into this version of you. It wasn't luck or chance. Every step, every decision, every ounce of effort was deliberate. They see the results, but they don't see the nights you spent refining your mind, the hours you poured into perfecting your craft, the quiet moments where you chose discipline over distraction. They think confidence is something you were born with, but you know it was earned. You studied the way the world moves, the way energy shifts, the way presence commands attention. You didn't just show up, you built an unshakable foundation, brick by brick, until the weight of your presence became undeniable. And now, when you walk into a room, it's not arrogance they feel, it's the power of someone who knows exactly who they are and refuses to apologize for it. Your confidence is a testament to your dedication, a masterpiece you've crafted with intention and care. It's not loud or boastful, it's steady, rooted in an unshakable understanding of who you are. Every step you take, every word you speak, carries the weight of someone who has done the work, someone who has earned their place. They see the polished exterior, the effortless grace, the magnetic presence that draws attention without even trying. But what they don't see is the journey, the nights you spent silencing your inner doubts, the moments you pushed through fear to find clarity, the way you trained your mind to see challenges as opportunities. While they waited for confidence to find them, you built yours from the ground up, brick by brick, moment by moment. It's not luck, it's not natural, it's the result of discipline, of choosing growth over comfort, of refusing to let anything or anyone make you question your worth. And now, you stand tall, unwavering, a force they can't ignore, because you've become the embodiment of what it means to truly believe in yourself. They think success is about luck, about being in the right place at the right time, but you proved it's about intention, about seeing the bigger picture when everyone else is caught up in the moment. They don't understand that every move you made was calculated, every sacrifice deliberate. While they chased instant gratification, you were building a foundation that couldn't be shaken. They saw the surface, the nights you stayed in, the opportunities you turned down, but they never saw the depth of your vision. They didn't see you mapping out your future, learning the rules of the game so you could rewrite them, turning every setback into a stepping stone. While they were busy impressing others, you were busy building a legacy. They don't realize that confidence, success, and power aren't handed out, they're earned. And now, as they scramble to catch up, you're already miles ahead, living proof that the ones who play the long game are the ones who win. You didn't just outwork them, you outthought them, and that's why they'll never understand how you did it. You didn't just chase success, you built a system, a strategy, a way of life that set you apart. While they were focused on surviving, you were focused on thriving. You turned every skill into an opportunity, every opportunity into leverage. Your independence rattles them, not because they can't achieve it, but because they didn't believe it was possible. They look at you and see the same starting line, the same chances, but they don't see the choices you made, the nights you stayed disciplined, the risks you took, the vision you refused to compromise. They wonder how you broke free from the cycle they're still trapped in, how you made it look so effortless. But they don't realize it wasn't effortless. It was intentional. You saw beyond the now, beyond the fleeting highs of comfort, and built a future they can't comprehend. And the best part? This is only the beginning. While they're still trying to figure out how you did it, you're already planning your next move, staying ahead, staying untouchable. They marvel at how seamlessly you move through worlds that seem so different, how you shift from boardroom precision to creative brilliance without missing a beat. It's like you were made for every space you enter, like every room was designed with you in mind. But what they fail to see is the effort behind the ease. You weren't handed this ability, you earned it. You studied people, their patterns, their power plays. You learned to read a room before anyone even noticed you'd arrived. Every move you make is intentional, every word calculated to land exactly where it needs to. They don't realize how much thought goes into your adaptability, how you've trained yourself to decode the unspoken, to understand the nuances of influence and energy. To them, it looks effortless, but to you, it's a skill, a weapon you've sharpened over time. You don't just belong in every space you enter, you own it, because you've mastered the art of being exactly what the moment demands without ever losing who you are, and that's a power they'll never understand. It unsettles them because they see in you what they fear they'll never achieve, the freedom to evolve, to adapt, to transcend limitations. While they cling to a single identity, afraid to step outside their comfort zones, you shapeshift with purpose, becoming exactly what the moment requires. That's the essence of true power, not just mastering the game, but mastering every version of it. They think confidence is static, tied to one skill, one persona, but you've shown them it's fluid, dynamic, uncontainable. You don't just follow the road, you redesign it, paving paths they never even imagined. What terrifies them most is the realization that you're still growing, still discovering new dimensions of yourself. They thought they had you figured out, thought they could replicate your success by copying your moves, but they're chasing a shadow. What they fail to understand is that your power doesn't come from what you do, it comes from who you are. And who you are is limitless, untouchable, and always 10 steps ahead. They can mimic your words, your style, even your rhythm, but they'll never capture the soul of it. What you carry isn't surface level, it's rooted in everything you've endured, everything you've overcome. Your presence isn't something that can be borrowed or duplicated because it wasn't given. It was earned. Every scar, every setback, every triumph has shaped you into something singular, something untouchable. They try to replicate the result without understanding the process, but what they don't realize is that your power isn't in what you do. It's in who you've become. You didn't follow a path, you carved one. You didn't just master the game, you rewrote the rules. That's why their imitation falls flat, because it lacks the depth, the grit, the authenticity that only experience can create. You're not just one of a kind, you're the original, and no copy will ever compare. They want the shine but not the grind, the glory but not the growth. They see the finished product and think they can shortcut their way to the same outcome, but they don't understand that the real work happens in the shadows, in the moments no one else sees. They lack the resilience, the vision, the connection to something greater. You don't just move with skill, you move with purpose, with intention, with a force that feels almost otherworldly. While they chase trends and mimic movements, you create waves, setting the pace they'll always struggle to keep up with. They react to the world as it is. You shape the world as it will be. That's the difference between a follower and a leader, between someone who copies and someone who creates. What you have isn't just talent, it's alignment, a deep sense of knowing that you're exactly where you're meant to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do, and no matter how hard they try, that's something they'll never be able to replicate. You are the origin, the architect of your own ascent, while they linger in the echoes of what you've already left behind. They chase the glow of your progress, unaware that you've already stepped into a new dawn, crafting the next chapter before they've even finished reading the last. They reduce your success to chance, to a single moment or talent, because it's easier to believe in luck than to face the truth. You built this. Every move, every skill, every choice was part of a larger design, a system you engineered with precision and purpose. You don't just evolve, you evolve with intention, constantly refining, reimagining, and reinventing yourself. What they'll never understand is that this isn't the result of a single breakthrough. It's the product of relentless growth, a blueprint for mastery that only you hold. And while they scramble to keep up, you're already rewriting the rules yet again. While they fixated on the finish line, you fell in love with the journey. They chased fleeting victories, but you built an empire brick by brick, knowing that true greatness isn't found in the outcome, it's forged in the process. You don't just adapt, you deconstruct, refine, and rebuild until mastery becomes second nature. You've woven together strategy, instinct, and relentless discipline into something they can't comprehend, let alone replicate. Now they watch in awe, their disbelief turning into quiet envy. How did you pull so far ahead? When did you become untouchable? The truth is, you never stopped. While they rested on their wins, you kept climbing, kept evolving, until the gap between you and them became insurmountable. You're not just unstoppable, you're inevitable. By the time they realized your brilliance, you were already light years ahead, operating on a level they couldn't even conceptualize. While they waited for permission, you created possibilities. While they tried to imitate, you innovated, dissecting every detail, uncovering every flaw, and turning every lesson into an advantage. Your mind is a force of nature, sharp, strategic, and relentless. You don't just gather knowledge, you transform it into power. You don't just grind, you execute with intention. Consistency isn't your ceiling. It's your foundation. They can't comprehend you because you've built something they can't replicate. A system, a mindset, a way of being that keeps you perpetually ahead. And while they're busy trying to decode your last move, you're already crafting the next one, bigger, bolder, and beyond their reach. They will always trail behind, watching from the sidelines as you forge ahead, unstoppable and unbothered. You didn't just learn how to succeed, you designed a life where success is the natural outcome, a byproduct of the systems you built and the discipline you mastered. Now they watch in awe, whispering your name where they once dismissed it, trying to rewrite their narrative to include you. But their recognition is hollow, their applause meaningless, because you never needed it. Where were they when you were grinding in the dark, battling through failures that would have broken them? Where were they when you turned every setback into a stepping stone, when you showed up for yourself every single day, no matter how hard it got? You validated yourself long ago, and that's why their approval holds no weight. Their admiration is fleeting, but your evolution is endless. You don't stop, not for their applause, not for their doubts, and certainly not for their sudden desire to stand beside you now that the work is done. They are observers, and you are the force they'll never catch. This was never about proving them wrong. It was always about proving yourself right. And you did, over and over again. Every step, every sacrifice, every decision to rise above mediocrity, yours. Every time you chose discipline over distraction, purpose over ease, and progress over excuses, yours. Every room you entered and commanded, every opportunity you created from nothing, every win that seemed effortless but was built on relentless effort, yours. They can observe, they can speculate, they can try to align themselves with your success, but they will never claim it. They weren't there when you built yourself from the ground up, when you turned setbacks into stepping stones and silence into strength. Every triumph is a testament to your vision, your resilience, your refusal to settle. And the best part? This is just the foundation. You're not stopping here. This is merely the prologue to a story they'll never be able to rewrite.